Hello, hello. I was reading the latest chapter of my BC history book, and it did a little section, just little passing thing that big general histories will do about a topic of the literature of the region, of my region, where I live, BC. And I was thinking, um, I think I was thinking this because, like, on BookTube, a lot of times people will talk about, like, oh, are my local authors, and they'll be able to list off various people that they read. And I was thinking, it's like, that is not something I could, I can do very well. I think the last book that I read that was a British Columbia author was probably Lampedusa by a guy whose name I cannot remember right now, who is local-ish, and it was a novel about the Italian author, um, whose name completely goes out of my head as well. Who let's slip over that right now. But yeah, so that maybe. Um, No, there's been others, but what I thought I might do is make myself a little make myself a little reading reading goal reading thing, which is to read British Columbian authors, British Columbian, maybe Canadian authors. Um, Try and mix it of older authors with more recent ones, and sort of interweave that within my stuff. Um, Kind of acknowledging that a lot of my older authors will probably be white and European of origins originally, whereas as I go as but interweave it with stuff that's more contemporaneous, that is a little bit more diverse and interesting. Not interesting, but a little bit more varied, a little bit more of a wider spectrum of the province, of the people here. So from west beyond the west, I've got, like, definitely older ones: Martin Allerdale Granger, Woodsman of the West; Bertrand Sinclair, The Inverted Pyramid; Irene Baird's Waste Heritage; the books of Roderick Haig Brown; Hubert Evans, Mist on the River; then the biggies: Emily Carr, Clee Wick to start off with; Ethel Wilson, Jane Rule, Audrey Thomas, Bill Bissett, D.M. Fraser, W.P. Kinsella, who is sort of a prairie guy, but we'll see; Bill Bissett, D.M. Fraser, the oh, I'm going, John Gray, who's a playwright; Phyllis Webb, Sheila Watson. That's the double hook probably to start off with there. George Bowring, who tried to read his BC history but found it a little bit too discursive; Jack Hodgkins, Anne Cameron's Daughter of Copper Woman; Jerry Kawaga Obasan, Brian Fawcett. And I was looking for kind of more recent-ish stuff. Thinking, like, yeah, Vancouver Exposed, Searching for the City's Hidden Legacy by Eve Lazarus. Um, as mystery books, a Match Made for Murder, Elaine Winslow mystery, because, like, I should also just try and read more more just genre stuff. You see, now someone like Spider Robinson is an interesting case. He's an American, but he's an American who has lived in Canada, in BC, for the last good while. The Conjoined, a novel by Jen Sukfong Lee. That's just sort of, that's my start. That's my starting thing. And in I was looking in Project Gutenberg for, like, what's British Columbian stuff there. And there's The Spoils of the Valley, which is apparently about the Okanagan Valley. So that would be the spoilers of the valley. Um, but yeah, Robert Watson. Um, there's some interesting things. Uh, there's is there Phyllis Pauline? I think Pauline Johnson, Legends of Vancouver. Pauline Johnson is one of those, I think, big authors of early authors of the thing. And there's some more Ralph Connor, if I wanted it, which I just finished reading, the Man from Glengarry. Um, dare I do another Ralph Connor? His time in BC. Um, Harold Bindloss. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. I would definitely want to get um, be counterbalancing a lot of this stuff with a lot of native, uh, like a native indigenous writers of BC. I've got I've got something one collection of kind of of stories from a kind of traditional stories from an Okanagan author, kind of storyteller, um, but also just sort of things from different people from different immigrant experiences, and just writers in general, not necessarily having to be like, oh, a book about BC, but people who are happen to live in BC and then write about whatever. So I'm not doing this as a just to kind of have a pool that I'm looking in and seeing what's there. That would be interesting. Maybe I'll find great authors. Maybe I'll find not so great authors. It's a smaller pool, so I'll have to see what I find there. But just to get some idea of like, hey, what is actually in my area. Of course, the only problem with this is once I get out of dead authors, British Columbian authors, they're live British Columbian authors, and they could track me down and beat me up for daring to talk about their books. That would be terrible. All right, so that's my thought. That's a thought that's going through my head. We'll see how it goes. See if I can find enough to do something about. The good thing is I'm not a fast reader, so even if I find 4 or 5 books to do over a six month period, that's probably more than enough for me. And there's probably a lot more really interesting authors to read than that. So I will leave it there. More videos later.